Hello and welcome to Driving with Todd, and I'm Todd. Early 1970, I was listening to album rock on FM radio, possibly WQFM out of Milwaukee, and on the radio came this great song called Rock and Roll Queen. What a wild rocker, it was dynamite. The DJ said it was a new group called Mott The Hoople, and it was like, Mott The Hoople, what a great name for a band. So I went out and bought that album. It was their first album, and it came out in early 1970 in the United States, and previously it was released in the UK in November of 1969. The album was dynamite. It starts out with an instrumental of the Kinks' You Really Got Me Now, and it just rocks. They do two other cover versions on the album, a Sonny Bono track called Laugh at Me, and a Doug Somm track called At the Crossroads, which is really, really great. And the Doug Somm version is great too. The other tracks on the album were written by the group. I immediately became a Mott The Hoople fan. I loved the album and played it over and over and over. That same year of 1970, they put out a second album called Mad Shadows. What a great album. I loved that album. The second side is especially dynamite. Ian Hunter's voice on the second side of that album is just killer. He's got so much emotion in his voice, you can almost feel the words he's singing in your soul. It's that great. In 1971, they put out a third album called Wildlife. Now, when I bought that album, and I bought it immediately, had to have it. I love Mott The Hoople. I had to have the album. I was a little disappointed. It had a kind of a country flavor, especially the Mick Ralph songs. They had a country flavor. They had some steel guitar on the album. They had a lot of acoustic guitars, things that they didn't have on the first two albums. So it kind of was a whole different sound for Mott The Hoople. And then the second side really disappointed me because the last track was a 10-minute live song that was actually a medley of 1950s hits. And it was like, why did you do that? Now, I understand that in the early 70s, there was a huge rock and roll revival. In fact, I went to see a rock and roll revival show at Summerfest in, I think it was summer of 1972. And they had all the greats. But it's like, why did you put this on your album when you have so much other great material you could have put on there? But that it's their album. You know, I bought it, listened to it, and I moved on to their last album on the Atlantic label in the United States that came out at the end of 1971 called Brain Capers, and that was kind of a fallback to their first two albums, but it kind of left me a little cold. It just didn't have the intensity of those first two albums. But I still like the Wildlife album, so don't get me wrong, I did like it, I played it a lot, but there's one track on there that just totally blew me away. Now, it was a cover version of a song, so it wasn't one of their own songs. It was a cover version of a Melanie Safka song, and it was Candles in the Rain. And they just do a great job of this song. Ian Hunter's voice is just killer on this song. So I thought it'd be fun to listen to Mott The Hoople do Melanie's Candles in the Rain. So here we go.
We were so close, there was no room. We bled inside each other's wounds. We all caught the same disease. We all sang our songs of peace. If you don't
That is just a great version of that song. I love it with the piano. So Ian Hunter's playing the piano in the beginning, and that's really reminiscent of the first two Mott The Hoople albums, where there was a lot of heavy piano on their tracks. And that's what I kind of liked about Mott The Hoople, is that heavy piano. And then, Ian Hunter's voice is just, I mean, he's got this kind of rough, gritty voice, but it just fits so well. And then they've got that chorus singing over the top. So the chorus is similar to like the Melanie version, yet Ian Hunter's vocals are not the same. I mean, he is just trying really hard to hit some of those high notes in that refrain, and he just doesn't get there. But it sounds so great. I mean, you can just feel his emotion in trying to get to those high chords. What's kind of cool though is I read that Stan Tiffin, Stan Tippin, who was the original lead vocalist for Mott The Hoople before they picked up Ian Hunter, is actually doing the refrain or the chorus on this song. So that's kind of cool. And then, like I said, the piano is great. What I like though then is when Vernon Allen comes in with the keyboards, and he's coming in and he's laying a little bit of keyboard in this thing, and it sounds so smooth. And then Buffin, I mean, he's just hammering out the drums. I mean, he's sounding so good on drums. Mick Ralph's a little bit of guitar in there, not a lot. I mean, this is not a guitar type song, and so the guitar's kind of in the background, and then over on Watts, he's playing the bass, and that's kind of driving along with Buffin on the drums. But the keyboards are what's really cool. The piano from Ian Hunter and the organ from Vernon Allen are just killer in this song, along with Ian's voice. Just really, really cool version of this song. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going and see where it goes.
We were so close, there was no room. We bled inside each other's wounds. We all caught the same disease. We all sang our songs of peace. Some came to sing, some came to pray, some came to keep the night away.
Wow. Wow, that was just great. What a cool cover version of Lay Down. Just this song is very reminiscent of the first two Mott The Hoople albums. I mean, they could have fit on either one of those very easily. With the heavy piano on the first two albums, there was a lot of heavy piano from Ian Hunter. You had a lot of keyboards from Vernon Allen on the first two, and both those two were stellar on this song. And Ian Hunter's voice is just so great. I remember I had a kind of a hard time getting used to his voice because it's so rough, and there's not a smooth point on his voice. He's kind of rough, and he really kind of works really hard to get the right notes out for the song. But it's done with so much emotion and so much like he puts so much into it, and it's almost painful for him to sing that it feels kind of cool. It's like, wow, I can almost feel him singing those words. And that's what he did in Lay Down. Just really great. And then, like I said, Stan Tippins, who was the original vocalist for Mott The Hoople, was doing the chorus on here, which I thought was really neat as well. And then you got Mick Ralphs. You can, if you listen real close, you can hear his guitar playing. It's a kind of a little distorted guitar that he's playing in there, but he's definitely taken the back seat on this song. And then what's really great is when the vocals or the lyrics end at the end of the song, then Vernon Allen takes off with the keyboards with his organ and finishes the song. He does the outro on the song, which is just dynamite as well. Love this version. Great song. Love Mott The Hoople. One of the great rock and roll bands that, really probably didn't get as much kudos as they should have in their early years until they met up with David Bowie with the All the Young Dudes album. Then all of a sudden they took off. But that was a totally different band in my mind than what we have on these first 4 Mott The Hoople albums. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed Mott The Hoople doing the cover of Melanie's Lay Down. If you did, hit that like button. That'd be really cool. If you have any comments about Mott The Hoople, the song Lay Down, put in the comments below. I'd really like that as well. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. If you're really grooving to my channel, please subscribe. Ring the bell over here and get updates to my latest videos. This was awesome. Put a huge smile on my face. Haven't heard this in a long, long time, but it brought back so much memories from the early 70s. So I hope put a smile on your face, and peace out, baby.